Hey-ho, DM Stewart here, and welcome to the Great Chaos Caper Winter Tournament 2025. I am, as I said, DM Stewart 1981. Alongside me in the booth is Thavion Hawk. How we doing tonight?
I do. How about you?
Oh, living the dream.
Sounds fun. Well, let's see what they've got to work with here. We can see that we have the starting parties with these flags. They get a forced melee, a forced caster, a forced nun, and their selection of a separate caster. We see a couple people went with white mage, a couple people went with the red mage. Of course, the nun is recruitable from one of the inns, cannot over recruit, so you have to select one to fill in that nun slot, and once they've picked one, they are stuck with it.
And they need to choose wisely. So that fighter is going to have learn slow, gets him absorb. The thief will have plus 25 agility, which is a really nice bonus on a thief. That black belt that they've already got is plus 15 luck, so can run away better. The red mage gets fast. The white mage will get elemental plus magic. And the black mage already has a ribbon.
You gotta admit, having the black mage and the black belt with the combination of free fast off of a red mage and the ribbon on the black mage already, you could make it with that three-man party.
Yeah.
But you also don't know what you miss out on that, or not having the white mage. There could be some magic that's just not easily learnable.
Yeah, there could be, or there could be like a harm 4 and there could be like a harm 3 or harm 4 at a low level and no good black magic sweepers.
Yeah. If the white mage coming with the free elemental plus to start with, that's two cast of a high level elemental sweeper, so it already has that option, which is just great balance. I can't say there's a bad selection as far as the mages this time around.
So what about the flags? I know it's shard hunt.
Yes, we have a 24 shard hunt. Orbs, the first 2 orbs will be worth 2 shards, the last 2 orbs are worth 4, so killing the fiends are worth some experience and shards. The incentive item locations are all random locations inside the fiend dungeons, Titan's Trove, and Ordeals.
And we're then off, and that's a fighter. That's a fighter in that first place. And oh god, as predicted, harm 4 and level 1 white.
And level 1 fast and lit 3. Okay, so level the magic is pretty stacked early.
So that red mage, kinda useless actually.
Yeah, wow. Key from the king. Shum getting through Garland fast, gets the crown as well, so we'll see what the Canaria or the Canaria treasury has to stock, and then we have access to the. Or is Shum just gonna not?
Probably gonna save first.
True.
Are the shards on a are the shards in marked trapped?
Yes, we have marked trap chest treasures for shards and incentive items. So all the incentive items will be in trap treasure chests.
Then you absolutely save before you check any of those chests.
That is a very good point. We also saw Shum check to see what the character was. Shum beelined it all the way to Toph, took on Garland, and then psyched back. Gonna check those boxes later because it knows there's no incentive items, just a possible few high-level encounters.
And there's a monster in a box on the vanilla incentive chest. I think that's the vanilla incentive chest. I never remember.
It's in the vanilla room. The second one is where the item is, I know. I should point out, these monster in a boxes aren't completely random. They're based off of relative location on the map. So
that is a canal.
That is half the way to the outer oceans.
And Soften playing with the correct flag, which is Map Derp.
Map Derp, best derp, googly eyes forever.
The only other flag that comes close is Team Steak, is classic Team Steak.
Still sad we don't have a chicken wings to go with steak and wings, but
I think we do now.
Oh wow, I haven't tried it in a while. I'll have to check.
There's that key in that cran. But yes, when it's marked trapped for incentives and shards, you absolutely 100% you go and save before you check those. And a mage stick and a copper +5.
That is a static caster item for Fire 2. That's a sweet thing to see.
Especially with how many early dungeons have a lot of undead.
Indeedly do. Speaking of early dungeons, Ice and Marsh are both non-incentivized. And there is the canoe from
There's a
Vicky.
canoe. Well, with a black belt, Ice kind of is soft incentivized because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential grind tiles.
Yep, and 3 of them are off-counter, unencounter,
Yeah.
safe grind tiles. Safe, relativistically. You still have to get in and out. But we see Jesus the Frog heading to the left, actually. Gonna check the crown and probably what's in... Nope, not bothering to check Dwarf Lux. Just gonna check the crown.
I don't dislike that play. And Shum is headed down into the river system. And that's going to be TNT from Astos.
Boomsticks. Well, it's a good thing that Jesus didn't go down to Dwarf Locked, because, well, would have been an extra double dive. Let's see, where does Shum go? Shum is going Crescent. I do not blame him. Did not pick up either of the previously noted characters. We had a white mage, I believe, in Provoca. So has a chance to find Thief or some other valid option here.
Now, is there some sort of shenanigans with spike tiles?
Not that I know of. And there's the chime. Unfortunately, that means we will not have a chime. Oh, wait. Did Jesus the Frog just bonk off of dwarves?
Looks like he did, which means that's gonna be chime locked.
Yep. Okay, so we did get to see a chime chime bonk. Jesus the Frog now having to go down to Provoca and get that canoe and continue on.
Okay, thank you, Mecklin. Thank you, Mecklin, in chat. B-side tiles for spike tiles. Ooh.
That could be a huge find. You could find a multi-agama or a multi-eye tile.
Yeah, you could find the legendary 3-eye grind. That is the tile you want to see on a black belt, and Scar finds that bonk at dwarves, which honestly, is going to get even more painful when he sees that when they see that TNT coming from Astos.
Honestly, having the crown, taking the run to the left with the key, I don't dislike it. But 99.9% of the time, when you get the canoe by Provoca, level 3
level
nuke
3
in
nuke.
Elfland, this magic has so far been quite kind. I mean, the only thing we need to see is some light. There's life 2. Okay, yeah.
Commentator cursed.
Commentator blurst, my good sir. And the houses are rolled relatively low, 1177.
Yeah. Okay, something's got to get nasty here, please. Otherwise, this is just going to be the jet seed of all jet seeds.
Well, we've seen some fairly fast seeds. One thing to note, or we might have noticed, the gear is all rolled up 5 or 4.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
You kind of never have bad weapons. You just have bad selections.
Curse you, Mohawk guy. As Jesus the Frog runs into Mohawk guy in the way.
An intersection which has always been tedious. Shum about to get the TNT. has the chime will be able to check dwarves.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll find lazy dwarves.
Jesus heading over to Crescent, going to pick up that chime.
So far, I've noticed some arachnids with trance has been quite annoying on the overworld.
I fully support
for sale at Crescent.
Yeah, for how much?
20-something thousand.
So, after the grind... Hello! There's your grind. There's your grind right there.
Double sandworms at Northwest Castle.
Because what do we always say, Black Belt fans? The best grind is the one you find.
And it doesn't hurt when sandwiches tend to be relatively thin for the experience they give. And when you can get a pack of 2 to 3 of them...
There is our grind. So I think Shoom is going to be on the grind right now. Or at least I would be in Shoom's place.
Now, the experience bonus is based off of shard/orb count. Every 8 shards or orb lit is a 50% bonus.
So that will be 8 shards.
You're not going to get a whole lot. Yeah. You're not going to get a whole lot of experience early, but taking those few fights can make a huge difference.
1, taking those few fights makes a big difference. 2, I don't know that I care about getting a faster grind a little later. If I can only have to check marked chests.
You know, I totally get that. We have Jesus the Frog and Softum in Volcano raiding the armory. Several X chests here. The Volcano does have an incentive item, but it is deep, so it's Agama Floor or the Dragon chest.
Right, so it's either Vanilla or it's Agama. Agama Floor. And there's EXPs.
Sadly in a box, but still. Quite juicy.
Sadly in a box, but still pretty juicy.
And with the crystal coming out of the TNT turn-in, Shoom gonna head right back around to the top of the inner sea.
Potentially. Shoom walks directly past Hooray Dwarf without getting any kind of a cheer, which is disappointing.
Indifference versus liberation. There are only 2 forms I can accept. Taunting it's just not cool, man. And there's the ship. So that is the full outer sea options available. We've seen Crescent already, so with the canoe you'd assume Ordeals, since it's incentivized, would not be a bad shot.
And Jesus finds a 4 EXP fight. Too bad that black belt's dead.
Yep, Scar encountering as well. As Sofnum is exiting out to save, because we have seen way too many times a random encounter just monstering the party.
Yeah.
Now, has Sofnum been to Elfland to get life magic? No, it does not seem.
So, I will tell you, I am very strongly Team Black Belt. It's the option with the fewest question marks.
I mean, it's the Texan option, or at least the engineer option. How do you protect yourself? Use a gun. It just happens to be a punch gun.
Exactly.
And if you need more, you use more gun.
Yes. Bring enough firepower.
Sofnum liquidating that opal armor for the gold to get the slab. Oh no, it's 29,000, not 24. I'm gonna have to do something else later and come back again.
Shum, meanwhile, going up to do ordeals. Didn't Shum find the sandwich tile?
Shum did find the sandwich, but did not go back to grind, so maybe looking for something better or just wants to continue on with progression. And that was a Bane Sword being liquidated, so Opal Armor and a Bane Sword, Softum pitches for the slab. Hopefully that slab turns into something valuable.
So, again, well, okay. You say you call Black Belt the engineer's option. Well, that's what I do. I am an engineer. Uh-oh. That undead pack with cremate. Dropping cremate off the top. That's a little ugly.
Shum rolls through into the top floor of ordeals. As Jesus the Frog dives back into Volcano, and Sofnum, having rezzed up the party, also back in Volcano. If Shum doesn't find something that points them to another major dungeon, you'd assume Shum is
You'll assume Shum is going to go back and do that, and do a sandwich grind.
Okay, well
that's a floater. That opens up a lot of options.
It mainly opens up the fact that we have Skyboat enabled, so once Shum gets into the boat, it's straight into the air. It doesn't have to go to the Ryukon Desert.
Alright. Embarrassing story I'm going to tell on myself here. And this is the story of why you always read the flags. I kept going to Ryukon Desert and trying to get the floater to work, and it wouldn't work because I didn't realize that airboat was on.
You are literally not the first and will not be the last.
Oh, I'm sure I'm not the first and not the last. But this is why you read the flags.
I believe it even happened in our first qualifying race on stream.
Ooh.
That is a zombie D-pack, and it is doing damage.
Oh, that zombie D-pack is very juicy XP.
That's one flag that wouldn't miss with the black belt is when we have the Hall of Dragons encounter set enabled, so you can jump in on a quick encounter, get some gas Ds or some zombie Ds.
Yeah, or a Tiamat 1.
Thankfully, we can't get a Tiamat 1 in a box, but we can get a bunch of zombie Ds, or in this case, blue Ds. Since all these chests in the Cardia Isles are proximity chests, they will have the dragons in them.
Yeah, there's that undead pack that had all the cremate that Sofnum is running into.
Yeah, and unfortunately there are multiples, and they do very dangerous work. The Black Mage having that pre-equipped ribbon is definitely keeping it standing, but when you stack on 3 or 4 in a row...
You mentioned gas Ds.
That also have cremate, evidently.
That hurts a little bit, but...
Well, freeze them and nuke them. Just shatter them like an ice sculpture.
But Ice 3 and Nuke does some good work with those.
Sadly, just like with the zombie Ds, though, the black belt goes down before the encounter is over. And there's the cube coming out of the top left chest in Volcano. So that is Sky Axis for Jesus and Scar.
And the herb coming out of Cardia.
Well, that's a quick dive to the Elflin check. Shum looking to get some stock up on pots, it looks like. Yeah.
Get some heal pots.
Overstock on camping gear.
Get some camping gear.
So far, the only options that Zoom has, we have the Starter Check, we have the Robot, and we have the Herb Turn-In.
One of those has got to be something. That's a defense sword. I like finding that. I like finding that with a black belt. Because now I don't have to worry about taking damage, nor do I have to worry about dodging.
Yep, your punch cannon has high evasion stats all of a sudden. Jesus running it out, Scar running it out, both of those runners getting out of Volcano, not going to try Tia, or Kara I should say. Meanwhile, Shum opting for the I'm gonna go to Volcano now route. Don't blame him. Likely Shum will go for that fight though. Those 2 shards could be value if he's got the hit points to make it through the fight.
Yes.
Shum's route from here is likely, I'd say, just Elfland to Melmond. Melmond get you slab translated, and would you go Sky then Lefane at that point?
I go Lefane first. Now, is Superstore on?
Yes, it is.
Lefane first. Because I'm going to check, I'm going to get that item, I'm going to get Superstore.
Jesus the Frog and Elfland gonna find Nuke, gonna find Life 2, gonna go, why didn't I come here before going to Volcano?
And then I don't ever have to go back to Lefane. I don't ever have to go back east of Gaia again.
Jesus checking the grave of Erdrick. I believe that was Zelda in Japan, or it was a different character.
You know, I'm not sure.
Sophnum encountering cremating undead again.
Shum
Jesus is
running from the cremating undead. I like Shum going 3-man here and just staying 3-man the whole way.
It makes sense. I mean, there's some gold bracelets +4 and pro rings +4. That's some sweet gear you can chuck on every character in Elfland. But I mean, only having their casters that need that gear.
And you just need to find one ribbon, because you'll grind the black belt up to a ribbon. You'll grind the black belt up to an effective ribbon. The black mage already has an effective ribbon. So you only need to find one ribbon. You're basically good to go. And hey, Jesus heading up towards dwarfs.
You're not likely to see the ribbon because the ribbons are all in the loose pool. So none of these incentive checks.
So they're not going to be. So they're not going to be marked trapped.
No, they are not. And they have been in some hilarious places. I believe we had a race the other day where every floor of Sky had a ribbon.
That's amusing.
Jesus the Frog doing the right thing, liberating the Hooray Dwarf. The Hooray Dwarf. Final Fantasy I's version of Hodor before Hodor was a thing.
The Hooray Dwarf is excited. I like that he's excited. Yes, Catnap Bumblefarts. Erdrick is, in fact, a Dragon Quest reference.
People forget that Final Fantasy I came out, I believe, around the time of Dragon Quest III. So much of the systems that make Final Fantasy so much more of a complete RPG compared to Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior is the fact that it was a much newer game. Who knew later on that they would merge as companies?
Well, and it hopefully made both sets of games better.
Shum going with the Lefane check, so gonna have access to all the spells that can be learned pre-promotion for the white and the black mage.
Also getting to see all the spells that are not at Gaia.
Meanwhile, Scar going up through ordeals to get that floater as Jesus gets the ship.
Level 5 Fade.
It's a map, but you assume you're going to get the levels for it. That exit could be handy. It's going to be a while till you have 6 charges, but hey.
We have not yet seen a Team Stake sprite. We have, however, seen Map Derp.
None of our runners on stream so far have head to Sky yet, although all of our runners do have the cube, which is required. The chime lock, for those who wouldn't see earlier, was blocking dwarves. Now, as far as anyone who's interested, we actually have 16 runners tonight, with only 4 of them on stream,
And
so this is a very large showing.
Shum is headed towards Sky.
Good proximity play, you
And
check Lefane, and you head to Sky.
And finds that sandwich right off the hard reset, which I think it's off the hard reset.
And not bothering. Shum is just going check for shards. I don't expect Shum to open anything that's not an X chest here. I am wrong.
Yeah,
Still must be
I
looking
don't
for
understand.
a ribbon or two.
Must be looking for a ribbon. But you have a fast caster with a ribbon. You have a black belt who will effectively get a ribbon if you keep him alive.
Scar encountering some wizards in Sky. One flag that we've got enabled is Vanilla. So you're gonna see insta-death on those, and it sucks.
Wait, vanilla scripts?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually don't want to see the third eye
poison.
grind.
I don't know if it's vanilla scripts specifically, but I do know that they have insta-death. So, which is a vanilla thing.
Well, no, the sorcerers have the insta-death in vanilla.
Whichever the white ones are. I don't know. All I know is they killed his characters flat.
Vanilla touch.
That makes sense.
So sorcerers will... okay, Scar has changed enemy palettes, so... sorcerers that look white.
It can make for some interesting things, and welcome Earthbound Super Series community to this Final Fantasy Randomizer qualifying race for our Winter Tournament 2025. We have runners all over the place. We've got Shum raiding into Sky 1. We've got Jesus the Frog and Scar both in ordeals picking up their floaters. Snofnum, meanwhile, has got the crystal and is heading towards Matoya, going to get that ship. Jesus taking to the skies with this airboat. Going to go ahead and hit Cardia, get that The herb, I believe, was here. Yes. As a power bonk coming out of Sky for Shum. That is a defense sword from Sarda and the power bonk from Sky. Plus fast at level 1. That is a pretty well fully operational punch cannon.
Yeah, that is a fully online punch mage. Yeah, that punch mage is online. Well, with levels.
Levels are important, but the shards are too. Shards-wise, Shum only has 8, which is already a 50% increase in experience gain, but you need 24 to get into the Topher.
So, according to Mechlin, our tracker, by the way, shout out Mechlin, our tracker, and Restreamer tonight. The bonk came from Lefane. We have not yet seen the Sky item.
Oh. Well, that just means there's more digging to be done. And there are 2 more floors to do it on. Thank you, yes, very much. Mechlin pulling double duty, not just restreaming a 4-man, but tracking a 4-man as well.
I'm not sure why Shum is... I'm really not sure why Shum is opening any chests other than the marked trapped ones.
Goblin?
Yeah, okay, fair. I know I have that problem as well. There's an Oxyale out of Sky.
That is access to sea, which it brings us to the fact that we have locked rooms. All of the mermaid floor has been locked up in cages. We have the key already, so it doesn't matter, but it's a fun thing. What that matters is all the locked rooms in C are where that incentive item can be. So TFC, the normally locked room, or anything in mermaids.
Correct.
Now this is the most interesting play. We see our Ruby coming out of that herb turn-in on Jesus the Frog stream, but Sophnum is in Earth.
Without a rod.
Yeah, the incentive item in Earth is rod locked. So progression is a thing, and that was a Roo stick coming out of the top 6-pack.
And Shum nopes his way out of Sky and sets his mages in slots 1 and 2.
Here comes the sandworms.
Flying. Okay, flies to Toph.
Shum?
Gonna check those Topher. Gonna check the 2 Topher. Gonna check the Topher tile.
Yep, not no.
No. No, don't like, do not want.
I mean, if they were going to poison anyway, then they could have at least been nice and poisoned the mages instead of the black belt.
No, did poison the mage. Black mage is in front.
Oh, okay, well that works. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog having that ribbon, or having the ruby, is checking what Titans has a box full of wolves. What will the wolves be hiding? Could it be the all-important loot?
Shum is headed for those sandworms. Or maybe not.
Might be checking... it's the tail. That is effectively a Womp item, because promotion is not on the table. Yeah, checking all others... Yeah, resets right back. And is
resets
going
right back to and is headed for sandwiches. I will be back in a minute. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okie dokie. So, Sophnum currently on the vampire fight. Again, unless we missed it, the rod is required to get past this and get to the item. Meanwhile, Jesus the Frog is going back to Crescent, going to pick up the slab, chase that down. That will turn into the power bonk. And Sofnum is like, oh, wait, I don't have that. Half me thinks if I were, it would be just worth resetting out rather than running this out, unless Sofnum found a good number of shards on his way down. Regardless, Scar getting the herb, we know that will turn into the tail eventually. Shum is actually on the other trap tile, going with the fire elementals, using that to take out the mages. Not a bad option. As we said, the sandworms can be fairly thin. They can hit hard, but not often as hard as you could worry. Level 22, going into the solo grind. Here we go for Shum. And 6 hits 500. The solo grind is on and ready. Jesus the Frog, meanwhile, is actually going towards promotion. I believe Jesus might have picked up the fighter and is going to have the black belt have the Master Knight. Yep, gonna go Master Knight. Interesting choice in Divergence. Doesn't want to go for the solo grind that Shum is currently doing.
Oh, and Shuma's got both mages down, which puts the black belt grind fully online.
Oh yeah, and it was instantly already one-punching the sandworms. Ended up using the fire elementals to down the rest of the party.
Are you going... Now, are you going 32 or 42?
42, it's the answer to life, the world, and everything. And the hits. It also
I don't remember boss
the
scaling,
of,
so...
that's a good point. I have the enemy scaling up. I can pull that up here. Enemies scale 80 to 120, with boss scaling from 120 to 160, and refights are 150 to 150. So nothing horrible for the scaling, but higher levels are sweet.
You can get away with 32 at that scaling.
I think that's what Shum is thinking too.
I mean, I kind of like 47 for Pseudo Ribbon, but...
Shum is going to check these top chests. That is not a pack you want to see, because we know what those ghouls have. But has the stick to do the damage that Fire 2 cast. Oh, that was...
Yes, but Mage Stick, so...
Exactly. Yeah, the advantage you get with more punches, more levels, is also the morale break, which can make a difference in earlier dungeon locations.
Which makes a difference in Earth.
Now, Shum with the Oxyale, gonna be able to...
Shum remembering that he didn't... res the rest of his party.
Thankfully, on-rack makes for a quick res. The clinic is fairly easy to get to, but... ooh, lit 2 Ankylos. That's... Or lit 3 Ankylos, I should say. That's just shocking.
And that's why you go to 40. That's why you go to the 40s.
Yep, higher MDef. You get higher levels, which increases your absorb, your MDef to the point at which it's approximately a ribbon, your hit count, and your HP. But Shum actually keeping the solo party member and going into Waterfall to talk to Mr. Robot. Many choices are being made for all of our runners on stream. Sofnum getting the floater. And there is a ribbon in greater than less than. Jesus picking one up, which, given the fact that Jesus promoted, is kind of important. Gonna throw it on the white mage. Got a ribbon effectively from the get-go from Blurstings on the black mage, so finding all 3 ribbons could effectively negate a huge chunk of magic damage. Ah, Beerbro of Civil... Beerbro, in chat.
Barber of Seville.
There we go. That makes sense. Pointing out that the sandworms were blinding Shoom's party, so... Not so fun. Poisoned mud gulls. That's annoying, but you got a soft poison or some soft potion, and they go very flat when you punch them hard. So Shoom gonna make it through here.
Yeah, mud gulls never really had a whole lot of defense.
Yeah, the stone and the metal. That's where you get into the very much hard to hit ones, or hard hitting and or high absorb. Shoom pulls the adamant from the robot, so that's a trip back to dwarves. 5 hits, 500 plus, 1 shots the dragon, gets a shard. Doesn't have a standing caster, so cannot use warp or exit.
I always hate that run out from from waterfall.
Yeah, as we
Somehow,
saw Sofnum...
as easy as it is for me to get to the robot room, I always manage to get lost getting back.
It's never been something I put much thought into. It's just something where I assume go up left until you can't go up left and go down. Then just backtrack. But Sofnum high-fiving Shumbabi as they make their way in and out respectively.
Gets past the fist, or gets past the fist and heads out.
Now, assuming Shoom will res the party and dive C. There's the white, there's the black. There's the exit and the save with the party shuffle. Interesting putting the black mage in the back. I'd usually keep the white mage further back for life cast survivability.
You're looking to, but Shoom is looking to damn the 2 mages.
If a grind is found.
Yeah, Shoom's looking to damn the 2. No, has black belt in front.
Yeah, just the white mage normally would be in the final slot in my party.
Okay, I always put my party white. I always put the white in front of the black, the white mage in front of the black mage in my parties.
Interesting.
The reason is more health. Significantly more health.
Higher survivability, not because of the lack of chance of being hit, but more survivable for when it does get hit. Understand?
Exactly. Because the last 2 slots are effectively equal chance of getting hit. Shoom carbonating bubbles, which is also the correct choice.
She was in the way she needed to go. Now we do have a roaming war mech in Sky that I don't think any of our runners have seen. There's the bottle.
Well, because none of our runners went to that floor. Roaming war mech is on Sky 4, and there aren't any chests beyond Sky 3, so why would you go there?
Well, find your way to Tia, find your way to 4 shards, which would be my hope, and Jesus on the floor before the Sky Maze may make that way up, and Scar on a floor below. So we could see a Tia fight. Fingers crossed.
So it looks like Jesus is going 3-man fighter white-black. Shoom's going 3-man black belt white-black.
Another ribbon, this time out of Sky 3. So greater than less than in Sky 3 with ribbons. The Oxyale again coming out of that top chest on Sky 3. Sky provides.
Sky provides.
I just see Sofnum checking has 2 shards. That is...
Ouch.
Yeah, we see Scar in comparison has quite a few more.
That is not a number you want, a number of shards you want to have at 43 minutes.
Scar, I believe, has 14 or so shards out of 24 needed. And Jesus is on the Sky Maze. There's the robot, and just walks right past it.
Barber of Seville in chat does point out, Mech is plenty XP. It looks like Scar may be going 4-man, and I don't know that I like that idea. I don't know that I like that strategy.
The fact that we didn't have, the fact that Nun's Absorb XP is not recruiting, does not hinder the gain of experience from that 3-man party. It really, unless you found an excellent sword and wanted to go back and grab it. There we go. Shoom doing the party shuffle finds the red giant Agama tile on the Sharknado floor in the 4-pack and is gonna take it.
That's not a bad grind tile.
Bogarting a katana +4, pretty effective lawn dart if he ever goes back to take on Tia. And with multiple Agamas and a red giant, that makes danning off the remaining mages pretty easy.
Yeah. If the Agamas will hit the right character.
And there's a Warmech on Scar's side, taking the fight against the Wandering Warmech. Gotta love it. And there goes the black belt.
Bagok.
Oh my word, it really does look like a bird. Is that a custom sprite, or is that just how Warmech looks?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yeah. And Tia, meanwhile,
and
Jesus the Frog
gets through Tia for 4 shards. And Shoom is going to get his grind on.
As Scar dies to Bagok.
That's 32. Looks like Shoom might be going for 42.
Me likey.
I like that. Or 47 for the pseudo ribbon, and I do like that plan of going to the pseudo ribbon.
If you're gonna grind and see like this, you assume you need the levels to survive making it through Kraken, get those 4 shards. So going high is the right move.
Not even the levels. You assume you want those hits, and potentially the MDef.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Scar is rediving Sky, having taken the fall to the Warmech, as Jesus is headed out and towards the Onrad continent.
Yes, and Barber of Seville in chat is the person that made our our robot chicken flag, or our robot chicken sprite. Thank you, Barber of Seville. That is an exceptionally awesome sprite.
Much appreciated.
Yes, you could walk the grind out, but at this point, if your grind is on Sharknado, it's faster to take Kraken.
With a
And
fully
it's
up
4
punch
shards.
cannon, yeah, 4 shards, a fast exit, and it's only probably 2 turns, because that's 1,000 damage per hit on these characters at this point. 8 hits for 800 plus, 8 hits for 900 plus, and it's only ever going to get higher from there.
Yeah, Shum is making that red giant and those Agamas look like a speed bag. Well, as long as Kraken doesn't blow you up, but that's why you go to 47 and get the pseudo ribbon.
Sofnum, meanwhile, in the volcano on Carrie's floor, taking on Carrie. Nuke rolling high, 300 plus damage, harm 4 runs mid 147. Fire 2 doing some chip damage across the board, 4 hits from the fire, he had nothing. Nuke 122. I said fighter, that was a black belt that doesn't have levels.
So Scar is avoiding the warp block this time, which I don't blame him.
Yeah, Stomp was excessive.
X-Cal plus 4, Vanilla X-Cal.
You're not going to say no to Vanilla X-Cal for Jesus with that promoted fighter. 4 shards away from go mode with access to C. I assume Jesus is going to beeline it to C and just get it done with. But then we also have the loot defined, which we have not been into mermaids yet. It could be there. Oh wait, no, we have been to mermaids.
We have been to mermaids. What's left?
Have we turned in? We have not turned in the bottle, and we have not seen what's in Earth.
Right. Which means bottle almost has to be rod.
We could have a full clear.
Bottle almost has to be rod into Earth for the loot. And here's that high level morale break working for Shum.
Yep, at this point, you want to put a dead body in front of the party, because the morale is based off the level of your front party member, and a face-down party member still counts in that equation.
No. You want the black belt in front, because the red giant Agama is not morale breaking. The only thing that's the morale break is coming from, Shum had the Sahugan pack.
The off-tile
the Sahugan wagon on an off-tile encounter.
And 42 was Shum's breakpoint. Which the life, the world, and everything.
Which is 10 hits. And yeah, mermaids was bottle.
That bottle is our outstanding progression, and Shum will be able to go right into it after this. Shum, meanwhile, is actually not that high on shards. Only has 11 shards compared to Jesus, who's only 4 shy. So Shum, with the grind, is ready to go. Just needs to find the shards and find that loot. But Jesus needs the shards from this kill and the loot, and that's a lot less effort.
Yes, but what variety of Topher do we have?
That is a good question. I shall check. I believe it is mid, but let me check.
Mid Topher is best Topher. And by the way, again, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for coming in. Also, want to give a massive shout out to Mechlin89, our restreamer and tracker, as well as my co-com Stavion Hawk. Coming up after the spring tournament, we will have the Duckling Derby, which is our at least once a year event for new runners, where our new runners learn how to beat the experienced runners.
Yes, as pointed out in chat, it is indeed mid-Topher, so we will not have any of the inter-floor encounter options. And we also did see the rod coming out of the bottle turn in, so Shum on his way to Earth to make it in and get the loot, and then get the heck out and go. Where Shum is going now? Gonna check Titans.
Oh, that's
tail.
right. It could be. Oh, Titans was tail. Well, it makes sense to check it if you don't have to check. If you don't have to go past Vampire, you don't.
Jesus, meanwhile, with all the shards, with gear, with not as high a levels across the party, but a full party with levels, just needs that loot and is in go mode. Sofna, meanwhile, climbing greater than less than, gonna find that ribbon there in the top chest above. And Scar into Mermaid's gonna pick up the bottle. It's like Shum closing out that adamant turn in, getting the X-Cal, exiting out, and going to Earth.
Which I think we know that Earth has to be the loot.
Yes, indeed. It is our final option. Well, Shum is also going to be checking some boxes, because Shum is shard short, as said before. Jesus can just beeline it to the chest.
And Shum onto Vampire floor. Checking chests for do we have a shard?
Check the armory. The armory has no chests. The last location to check is the three chests in Lich's bedroom. The chest behind the vampire is the vampire's you know, I had it on my tip of my tongue, but I totally forgot it. Then the next floor you have the armory and the in the bedroom.
Yes. I always call it the closet. I always call it the closet in the armory, but...
Well, the closet is the chest in front of the vampire encounter, the vampire's closet. Yeah, well. That is the loot coming out of the final chest in Marsh, or in Earth. Exit takes Jesus out and on to Topher. Shum, meanwhile, probably going to take the Lich fight to get those 2 shards. Then Scar picking up that second, or another ribbon. So Sharknado had our 3rd ribbon, it looks like, in the bottom left chest. As well as 2 katanas, because that katana as well as the one that's in the center room next to the Agama and Giants tile. So, I mean, if you've ever found a thief, it would be a sweet location to pick up your gear. Man, 56-35, our first encounter with Lich on stream just happens to be Lich 2 in Topher. That X-Cal being swung, not doing nearly as much damage as a punch cannon would, but wait a second, there you go, 1000 damage, dead Lich 2. Followed by dead Lich 1 for Shum. Seven or 8 shards required for Shum, has access to 2 fiends to get 6 shards. So just needs to find 1 more shard, or 1 or 2 more shards and fight those fiends. making the fast move to fight carry 1 to get those 2 shards that way, as Jesus takes on carry 2 and gets the job done onto the Kraken floor. Using the vanilla route instead of the shortcut that was introduced with mid-Topher. Understandable, it's just muscle memory. Yeah, the black belt could well be a major star, but the chances of getting the black belt are slim. You get the 1 mandatory melee, and I do not know if the black belt is recruitable.
I did not see a black belt anywhere that was recruitable.
Yeah, thought so. Mechlin in chat confirming the black belt will not be in the recruited slot, so if you don't start with it, you don't get it. Well, this black belt, this seed, doing pretty dang well. Shum only needs 3 more shards. Evidently did not raid the Volcano Armory, which explains such a large shard deficit given how chest dense it was. Or it is. Thunder coming out of Tia 2. Swing with the X-Cal, 4 hits 370. That fast comes out after the swing because that's just how it does. Gonna go swing, wait. The waits happen, followed by the swing. 5 hits 722. Bane comes out, does not get any kills. That's just a free turn effectively. There's another swing for 5, 641, and job done. Jesus the Frog is on to the Chaos floor as Scar gets out of C with 4 shards. Shum just checking the linked chest because that linked chest actually would have had the incentive item if I remember correctly how that's linked, so not an unreasonable check, but it's already gotten taken care of. Shum picking up the Oxyale as Scar is diving back into C. I think Scar found that Agma tile and might be taking the grind because he went back in with no mages. Meanwhile, fast out on the fighter, defense sword on the fighter in the 3rd slot. Jesus is in the Chaos fight, gonna use Lock 2, gonna keep on putting evasion stacks, and Viz 2 coming out, another Ruse stack that'll put the maximum evasion on that the Knight. It can power bonk to its heart's content as the lock keeps the evasion down. Gonna go with Temper and power bonks, not gonna put on damage. This Chaos, if it's got Cure 3, or Cure 4 I should say, you want it to cycle through. A wall, just to be sure, not really needed because the Black Mage has the effective ribbon, but why not? Inferno coming down, doing a chunk of damage across the party. Slow 2 misses, does not hit on any character, so that's not much of a loss. 7 hits, 1048 damage. We are going to see a very, very fast end to this Chaos. Oh, never mind, Chaos had that Cure 4. Kind of called that, I guess. Reset the damage, 600 some odd damage off that hit from the X-Cal. Fire 3 doing chip damage. Another 6 hits. More Lock 2 to keep evasion down. This is not a long-lived Chaos despite the reset. Swirl takes out the Black Mage. Cure 2 to keep up the Knight. 9 hits, 700. Not much more in this Chaos. Cure 2. The hit misses, the full evades, and there you go. GG's on stream for Jesus the Frog with a racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Our 4th runner finishing tonight. A note ahead of Jesus was Woobear at 55.23, tied with Spellzap, in fact, at that 55.23. And Rubes just ahead at 1 minute 31. GG's to all the runners in this event. Did I say minute I meant hour. I say that occasionally. I don't know if I'm being corrected on that by Solario in chat. Regardless, Shoom. Why you frowny? Smiley. I prefer Smiley. Shoom Bobby is meanwhile on to the refights, taking on Carry, the Punch Cannon. Oof, you lost the Black Mage, but the Life 2 in battle works. There's the Punch Cannon, getting the job done. Softum, meanwhile, is on the Tia fight. Trying to get those 4 shards taken. We see Shoom is actually taking the mid-Topher route to Kraken. Invis 2 out. Get the evasion. 9 hits, 990. This Punch Cannon proving its value. There's the punch. There's your nuke punch. 15 hits for 2200. Yeah, fasted Punch Cannon, fast damage, all do things, Bob. I feel like I just got hit for how I can. I'm not having a stroke, I'm just losing the ability to speak clearly. Shafna, meanwhile, out of the fight against Tia 1, gets those 4 shards as Shoom pulls up Tia 2. You've got the fast, you got the wall, you've got the punch, the weight, and the nuke. The punch comes out, 14 hits, 1800 damage. Shoom on the way to chaos as we see Scar is in fact taking that same grind that Shoom did just much later on. And Sofnum is checking Cardia Isles for some shards. Sofnum resets out of that encounter as Shoom hits into chaos, gonna go with the fast, gets the fast out before the punch, goes with the wall on the white mage, Ice 3 comes out, does good damage, defense sword. So it's going to be defense swords for the evasion, wall just for good measure, lock from the black mage to help with the evasion stats. 1 more stack of defense and we'll have full evade cap on it. Gonna power bonk instead of evade, go with heal 3. Gonna keep using the lock, really wants to make these punches land. Scar finishes the grind, heads out. Lit 3 chunking down Shoom's party, gonna use Invis 2, gonna switch to nuke, and gonna go punches. Nope, more power bonk. When will the trigger be pulled? That's the question. Did that slow 2 just land on the black mage, or the black belt? If so, we will see fast cast. If not, then we will just see whatever is done. Heal 3 coming out to top off the party members. There's the Cure 4. If you're going to punching right after the Cure 4 is a good time for it. Yeah, 17 hits, 1700 damage. Crack, going to do jack squat. There's another punch. There's Shoom finishing it off. Second on stream, our 7th overall with the race time to GG time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, 42 seconds. Just behind Solario Rex at 1:02:16. And Fry Teeth at 1:04:28. GG's.
Yes, GG's to our racers. And Shoom finishing off that. Shoom finishing off Chaos. 2nd on streams, 7th overall. That is 104. That is just a little past Fry Teeth at 1:04:28. An official time for Shoom is 1:05:42.
Scar did take that grind and see Softum going into Mermaids. Gonna get the Oxyale. And Scar now has the full stack of shards needed, but still needs to get that adamant or get that rod and get into Earth to get the loot before it can hit Topher. But with all the shards in hand, with a grind up with that 4-man party, not to the 42 we saw from Shoom's, but has the 4-man, so has the Excal option or other backup weapons. We saw a Sun Sword, we saw the Defense Sword, so plenty of endgame caliber weapons to use.
Right. Scar heading up, going to open that bottle and get that rod. And there is Jesus the Frog. GG to you.
GG.
So, why switch over to the fighter instead of the black belt?
These flags are designed for a fighter carry. They are not designed for a black belt. Black belts you can do, but B-side tiles, not the best. Unless you get lucky with a fast encounter or two on the hard reset, it can be quite hard to find a good grind. And considering how they just throw +4 and +5 loot at you, and in a shard hunt, you're opening 30, 40 boxes guaranteed.
Yeah.
It just lends itself to a fighter carry really, really well.
That makes a lot of sense.
I had thought, my plan usually is for black belt start, I'll check Conaria for a fighter. If it's not there, I might keep the black belt. If I don't find a fighter in Conaria or Provoca, I'll just go black belt. If I find a fighter, I take him, I damn the black belt, and I swap over.
Very well reasoned, and it seems to have worked quite well for you. One other thing I wanted to bring up is Dwarf Game.
Yeah. What about
that
it?
was kind of funny.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
The
chime bonk.
Chime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I didn't check it first, so grabbed it. Oh, great. TNT, turn it in. Nope. So this is actually one of the rare cases. 4 out of 5 times, I'll skip Volcano, and I'll chase other turn-ins first. But this time, I decided to just dig it out while I was there. It turns out that was the wrong call. But, who knew? Who knew?
It gave us the illustration that the chime lock can actually be an early location.
And
Didn't really slow you down though.
Not much. I had to walk back and forth a bit more, but I had plenty of camping gear, so I could just take like the 6 seconds and then reset every time.
Yeah, there was a nice run off the hard reset.
Yeah, it was okay. It was not great, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, I believe I quick checked and it was basically 2 encounters between Canary and Provoca.
Yeah,
So,
the really
a
smart
couple
play
resets.
is to rather than what I did was I always took the hard reset every time. But if you actually just save where I saved, take the soft reset, burn an encounter, then you have a really long run after that. But I didn't have the timing for the third encounter, and so I didn't want to mess around with trying to do that and messing it up.
No, that's fair. That's perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. Encounter manipulation is one of the things that you learn very fast with Final Fantasy. It works in the original game, and it very much can be utilized to make the randomizer a little more survivable. As DM mentioned before, the Duckling Derby coming up with the Duckling Boot Camp before it. Anyone who wants to join the randomizer and learn things like overworld manipulation and counter manipulation, feel free to chime in and join.
Yes, that is a. We do love the ducklings. We love to teach you. Experienced runners will teach you how to beat them, as I like to put it.
As a graduate of the Duckling Bootcamp and the Duckling Derby, I can say it was very good. It was very, very useful for learning the randomizer and really getting in depth on a lot of the skills you're going to need for a variety of flag sets.
Yes.
And we have a DNF Scar pulling the plug on the race.
Which, not entirely unreasonable.
As far as other finishers so far, we have Budge Mono with a rage.gg time of 1 hour, 8 minutes, 15. F. Coughlin with a 109.03. Sorbius with a 110.29. Demon RHK 111.26. Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna with a 111.33. And Vaughn with a 115.37. Well, that's
spoilers.
I just auto-read them. My apologies.
I understand. We are on because we are on 10-minute delay. Our racers are on 10-minute delay.
We trust our racers not to be stream sniping, but it's just good practice. Plus, it helps insulate the commentators from commentator cursing because we don't have temporal manipulation skills.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Well, you've shown a couple. So, what are your what were your other thoughts on this seed, Jesus?
I feel like it would have been much faster if I hadn't managed to full clear yet another seed. I had to full clear a lot of these seeds. I think 4 or 5 of the seeds done, which I've only done 5 or 6. I've full cleared them in just about an hour. If I can avoid getting literally every check, I can probably save 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, this was kind of set up to point at a full clear.
Yeah, well, these seeds tend to be quite linear, but they have 3, of course, branching points for the 3 dead ends.
There is that
loot.
There is that loot for Softenum.
But it's all about calling it right. You got to figure out which one's going to lead to the loot and which 3 are going to lead to dead ends. Not to say that getting the defense sword or Excal or Powerbomb isn't helpful, but
especially when you get a fighter carry.
Yeah, you get so many levels though, and with this scaling, you only really need to get to level 25, even with no Excal, no Power Bonk. You can probably find a Root Stick. I have the Root Stick and the Defense Sword. You're going to get a ribbon or 2 or 3. So you're not really in any danger at all, even if you don't find those. And yeah, I think Softenum here actually had the right route in terms of not going to get the herb, doesn't have the ruby, didn't get the tail. Like, that's all to his benefit in terms of not doing checks you don't have to do.
And headed for... Does Softenum have enough orbs?
Softenum is still, I believe, 3 or 4 shards short. But that can be made up pretty quick with a little diving into, let's say, Cardia Isles or some other location that might be chest dense. Or it could be just re-dive into sea to take out Kraken, which Softenum did not do. The known location for 4 shards, no, 5 shards needed. So seaside or Kraken side it is. Yeah, we found all 3 ribbons. It looks like one was in greater than less than, one was in Sharknado bottom left, and the other one was in Sky 3 in the 4-pack.
Yes, in CC's Gambit.
No, CC's Gambit was Oxyel. A free 4-pack on the left side was where
the freebie 4-pack.
Yeah. Fun of all the ribbons being loose. So, what was your thoughts on the initial party selection, the secondary mage selection?
Well, all the classes had really good blessings, basically. So, the black belt getting the plus luck meant I didn't really need to worry about not having a thief. I use a black belt to run. The fighter blessing was like, learn slow plus absorb. Not very useful for a fighter. Other than that, they're all really good. The resist all black mage, I totally forgot about, which is why I walled him during the final fight, because I forgot he had auto ribbon. The elemental magic for the white mage is just a nice bit of safety. Red mage, I don't remember what he had.
Red mage had fast. Free fast. Which was at level 1 anyway.
But since I had a forced black mage, I had a forced black mage, I wasn't worried about not getting fast. So I didn't bother thinking about red mage.
And as it turned out, red mage fast was useless because fast was level 1.
Yeah, I also had fast on the night, so I had no shortage of fast. But yeah, they were pretty good blessings, but definitely I really wanted black and white and a fighter.
Well, you found the fighter, and you definitely made it work.
So again, congratulations to you being first on the stream, Jesus.
Thank you.
So again, we'll run through our finishers. Woo Bear, 5523. Woo Bear and Spellzap both at 5523. Rubes at 1 hour 31. Jesus at 101.40. Solaria Rex 102.16. Fry Teeth at 104.28. Shumbabi 105.42. Budgemano 108.15. Sorry, words are hard. Fred Coughlin at 109.03. Sorbius at 110.29. Demon RHK at 111.26. Mr. Scruff Ninja Tuna at 111.33. And at this point we have Vaughn has finished at 115.37. And Sofnum is heading towards... It looks like is headed towards finding that one other shard.
Yep, looks like wants to pick up probably pro rings, I believe was down here. Pro rings and gold bracelets. Or is just in search
Thought
for
those were it.
Or item.
Is reviewing heal pots. Is
Yeah.
getting heal pots.
That works.
Because... that Mohawk guy.
Just that kind of jerk.
There was a shard in the there was a shard in that chest up there.
Yep, and there it is. Sofnum gonna get his final shard right out of that chest, and we'll be able to dive.
I actually don't like that play of going straight for the orb and not going out and saving first. Even with mid-Topher?
Yeah, there's no point in not just taking the steps to get out and get it saved. Taking the walking grind doesn't feel all that safe with the levels, it seems. In fact, is going for the Topher grind. Is interesting. Did not see any spike tiles, is going for what they've got.
So did these flags have improved blind? I didn't really pay that much attention since I knew I wasn't going to be participating in Winter Tournament.
They do. Improved Dark is on.
Which explains why Shum was running away from the sandworms that kept blinding his black belt.
That's why I bought Lamp.
We do, in fact, love Lamp.
We saw two good grind tiles. We saw sandworms that ended up not being so great in Northwest Castle. And then Shum also found the Agama Red Giant grind in the 4-pack on Sharknado floor.
Yes, so Demon RHK in chat asks if there were good grind tiles. I mean, Sandwiches is a good grind tile, unless they're blinding you with Improved Dark. So Red Giant Agama in Sharknado is a pretty good grind tile.
There's also the Frost Dragon tile in the top of Redeals, which is not bad.
True, but it was also a deep redive.
Yeah, it's all the type of Redeals. Like, if you were already ready for a grind, like if you were already like 22 kind of area, 25 maybe when you get there, it's fine. under that, probably don't want to take it.
But we are going to go ahead and get some final thoughts from you.
Yes.
Jesus, it looks like Sofnum is still on the roll. We will go ahead and get this closed out with final thoughts, and we can raid to Sofnum for those who want to see him finish out the run.
Yeah, it's been good. Qualifiers are practice. It's the only practice I get is running the qualifiers, so it is definitely beneficial to get some experience in the flags. If anyone wanted to know, if anyone was wondering, practice does improve you on specific flag sets. So, for science,
it very much does.
But no, that's all. It's been fun so far. Looking forward to the tournament proper.
And I am a huge fan of everyone makes the brackets. Partially because I'm bad at racing. So everyone makes the brackets means I at least get to the means when I enter the tournament, I at least make it to the brackets.
Plus, it's double elimination, which is very, very nice. You're not one and done.
And Sofnum making... Okay, so there is a method of doing the mid-topher where you just go straight up from the stairway onto earth floor and go straight to the right. You get 2 free steps, so you end up plus one step on that. Might be +2. I don't remember where the blocks are. Oh no, it's +2 because you can't go straight across. So for mid-topher is a skill set, and it's knowing what the revised maps are. I personally am a huge fan of mid-topher. I think mid-topher is the best.
Mid-topher is a substantial improvement over the vanilla topher because it just trims the fat without truly killing the interaction.
Right, without killing the potential game changer of it.
AKA the risk of the off-tile encounters.
Yes.
If you want to go onto the sea floor and not encounter seafood party platters and tons of waters, then,
you
short
mean
topher.
like Sofnum just picked up with the tons of waters.
Yeah. And we will play this out. I feel bad. I shouldn't have even thought of raiding off. Let's give Sofnum a chance to actually see this through.
And that is actually what Sofnum did there is actually the correct way of doing the seafloor on mid-topher, which I didn't realize. I thought you went down and just went across. They went down the left side and across.
Yep, just like with Carrie's floor where we saw that one tile removed so you could just go down and to the left and around. They added that, or they pulled the pillar away from the wall of pillars above Kraken's location so you can go over to the right and then down. Fun fact, if we have a special location for the Masa, it's usually rotated into that floor in the center chest rather than the Masa location on Tia's floor.
Oh.
When we first introduced mid-topher, that was one of the changes that was made, is the Masa was moved into Kraken's floor.
That's good to know.
Sofnum, meanwhile, has lost the black belt, lost the black mage, brought the black mage off, lost the black belt again after the Live 2 came out.
Kraken 2 doing Kraken 2 things.
Going to nuke with the red mage, life 2 with the white mage, and try and bracken the Kraken. There goes the red mage. The white mage brings up the knight, or the black belt. Bracken the Kraken does not work. Goes for the punch.
Hard to get that work. Hard to get that to work on Kraken 2. Works better on Kraken 1.
The meme is a meme, but it's worth going for. The punch gets the job done, though. Softenum going to be able to revive the red mage. Has 3 charges left of life and life 2. That's kind of spooky.
This is a tough... These are tough boss fights.
They have all been rolled up, not substantially, but rolled up nonetheless.
But rolled up enough.
One reason why I also like the fighter carry for the knight, because you can equip way better armor, so you're not relying on getting invis stacks in your black belt. Like, I didn't do any evasion on Kraken 2. My fighter took a punch for about 150 damage. Didn't really bother me, you know?
Yeah, that opal armor plus 4 was a sweet find early.
Actually, I chucked it for the dragon plus 5.
Even better.
Shum did take the black belt up to 42, so Shum had the absorb to handle that punchy Kraken too.
Yeah, if you go all the way to 42, you're not going to have a problem. But if you try to save time by not doing a full grind, then it can be dicey.
What's dicey right now is the black belt went down hard. The life 2 brought it back up, but the black mage also went down. See a swing with the red mage for a sword, a fade from the white mage, power bonk on that black belt to try and bring up its damage output. Not that many spells on the red mage to use for utility. Just gonna switch to swing and punch.
But that red mage does have 2 fast charges, and there's only 2 bosses left. So you use 1 here and you use 1 on Chaos.
Going to pop the final fade charge potentially on the white mage, but nope, the nuke gets it done. So soften them through, just has the potential encounters. Errors are kind of annoying. Gets through it and makes it to the final fight against Chaos. Res the party members, possibly shuffle things around, make sure the heals are right. Now save a life 2 charge on the white mage by using a life charge on the red mage.
That's a smart play.
If you got the heal pots, take the time, save the charges. We've seen how risky it can be. We know that this Chaos has the Cure 4 on it as well.
In these flags, it's vanilla scripts on the bosses. So Chaos will always have Cure 4, Slow 2, Fast, etc.
You know, I remembered that and then I forgot it, and then I just realized, wait, did no one see Nuke out of the Lich? Because I don't think anyone saw Nuke out of the Lich on stream.
Nice.
First elemental tier 3 spell, Ice Out, does a lot of damage. Not a pro ring on it, or not a ribbon on every party member here. The fast comes on the black belt. Gonna go with power bonk, gonna stack things up. The red mage really doesn't have much to do other than swing a sword at this point. Or use that last nuke charge, which means no more life cast from the red mage. Going to opt for wait.
At this point, I would be chucking drinks at that black belt.
Yeah. Keep it standing as you grind.
Keep that black belt standing as much as possible.
And that is exactly what he's going for, is heal pot for anything that doesn't have anything else to do.
Yeah. It's punch or power bonk. Uh-oh. There goes...
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Potion on the red mage. Life 2, crack brings it up. Oh, red mage goes down. as the black belt comes up. Last life / life 2 charge. Not going to bring back the red mage. Going to focus on what he's got. Going to switch to doing damage. Use that fade charge. Go for the punch. 6 hits, 660. Slow misses, thankfully. I mean, plenty of fast charges. Still has those 2 in reserve from the white mage. Plus the black mage's level 1 casts, which are fast and lit 3, I believe. Going to use that lit 3. Doesn't need those fast charges. There's the Cure 4. Lit 3 tickling. It is just like static discharge to chaos.
Yeah.
But Harm 4, Lit 3, and Punch. 9 hits, 1000. That is definitely getting the job done, but will it survive? Gonna go with heal pots on the white mage and black, or no, gonna double up on the white mage. Try and keep it alive for the heals.
Well, that's not a bad idea.
Swirl takes the black belt to a knee. The white mage still standing, but very low. Fire 3 finishes off the black belt. Oof. There's the last life charge. That's a full stand of black. Oh wow. Near crit 100%. 15 life remaining. Tornado finishes the job. And oof.
Oof.
That could have gone so well, but that finishes it off. And unfortunately, that is the end for Softnum. GG's.
GG all. So, we'll close out our final thoughts. Davion?
This has been an interesting race, and this is only the 5th qualifier in. Just so much more to go. GG's to the runners. GG's, thank you all. Thank you very much, DM, for calming with me, and mega thanks for Mecklin doing our restreaming and the tracking.
Yeah, that is serious effort doing both of those at once. For mine, that chaos was nasty. I agree with Shumbobbies. I have always been Team Black Belt. I will probably always be Team Black Belt. That was a fun race to watch. That was a fun race to commentate. We have got more qualifiers coming up. Once the qualifiers are done, we will have brackets. After the winter tournament is done, we've got the Duckling Boot Camp and Duckling Derby coming up. We like to teach our new runners how to do the kind of things that you see Jesus the Frog and Shumbobby do on the and Scar and Softnum do on the do for themselves. So on behalf of our team, on behalf of the Final Fantasy Randomizer community, we will bring this on home. I have been DM Stewart 1981. Alongside me in the booth has been Thavion Hawk. On the restream and the track tonight has been Mecklin 89. And thank you all for watching. And good night, everybody.